Hello, this is the Utah Defender, and it's been over a month since I had my 3 heart attacks. What I'm showing before you is a letter that I wrote Troy Rawlings, dated November 27th, 2023. As all letters that I've written to Troy Rawlings, he's never answered one. Just like everybody else that I've ever written in government, they never write you back. So what I want you to do is later on, go over this letter, reduplicate it, and send it to Troy Rawlings asking for the same information. Now, I do want to let you know that we're dealing with a terrible son of a bitch, Troy Rawlings, because he thinks because he is the attorney, district attorney for Davis County, he doesn't have to do anything in response to citizens. So he is a rotten son of a bitch, and I can't say that word enough. So what I want to do is go over the fact that I've been told that my heart attacks and my kidney problems, I had about 12 kidney stones that I passed, and I had about the same amount of blood clots in my kidneys, and I bled for 30 days. And I had 3 heart attacks, and I also have gallstones. And I've had several sources tell me that the police department and those probably of maybe the sheriff department of Davis County purposely used RF weapons against me to murder me. And I'm alleging that. And I wouldn't doubt it. So what I want to talk about is about, again, Chase Allan. There is a terrible thing happening in this country. It is the murdering of American citizens and the government covering them up, these shootings. We must stop internal affairs investigations and police having qualified immunity. Remember that, because this is a call to arms in the political sense, not weapons, not violence. Let's go into the Chase Allan murder by the Farmington police. First, you need to know that the news media lied about the shooting. The news media said that Chase Allan was 1, uncooperative, 2, he had a gun, and 3, he was a sovereign citizen. All these statements are false. He was not a sovereign citizen. If you watch the videos, he complied with every demand of Officer Butcher. He had a gun, but note, he never touched, exposed, or pointed his gun at anyone at any time. Note, it would be the fact that Chase Allan had a concealed carry permit, that the Farmington Police Department know this. This would be the cold-blooded excuse that the Farmington police and Troy Rawlings, the son of a bitch, Troy Rawlings, the district attorney of Davis County, would use to justify the premeditated cold murder of Chase Allan. I'm alleging all this, and it will be proven in a court of law. It would be during Chief Eric Johnson's, where he would tell his first lie out of his lying mouth. When he was asked, Chief Johnsen says that he was never asked, was there any, there was not a question that was put to him that there had been a dispatch call made about this stop of Chase Allan prior to the initial stop by Justin Butcher. This was not only a Freudian slip, but a lie. We discovered that there were several calls that were related to the Chase Allan stop prior to Chase Allan being pulled over by Justin Butcher. One such call is Butcher asking prior to the stop where this one officer was, and the officer tells Butcher that he is right behind him. This is another call. There's another call where an officer states that he's 15 minutes out. These are dispatch calls leading up to Justin Butcher following Chase Allan up the street to the Farmington post office. You see how important it is to expose the lie of Chief Johnsen? And he spit this out of his own mouth. No one forced him, but this is what the Lord does. And it has to be brought out in a court of law. Why did you make that statement? That there was no prior dispatch calls, when in fact you weren't even asked a question at your little dog and pony show in Farmington to the police. And why didn't to the media, news media, and why didn't anybody question about it? All the news media does is write what the government tells them to write down. They're another arm of a lying group of people. So let me go on. I'm going to change another document here that you can look at so that you know. And I'm sorry, I'm not as squared away as if I would ever do this as a professional. But this is a document to, there it is, there's the address. So Hinda Sheena, special agent, she's in charge of the FBI. I wrote this again on 22 November. Please take it down in detail. Write your own letter, a copy of this one that I have here, so that you can read the whole thing and do yours. And I put all the reasons why this investigation by Troy Rawlings was bullshit. And I'm going to go down it. You can stop it later on and look at it for yourself and make your own copy of it. And send your own copy of your letter to ask the FBI to open an investigation on the Chase Allan murder based upon the lies of the son of a bitch, Troy Rawlings. It's all on here, everything that I put. And you can duplicate it and send your copy to the FBI, make your own, copy it, and send it in to the special agent. You know, I don't type this stuff up for laugh and giggles. I do it for a reason. And, you know, here's another example of our government, stiff-necked as they are and the rotten son of a bitches they are, just don't even take any consideration of a citizen of the United States who served this country for 20 years. And you can put down your information as applies. And this again is the letter. And for some reason, let's see, there we go. And now it's in focus. And you can make your own letter of that one to the FBI, asking them to do an investigation. I'm going to put another letter up here. And this was in reply. This letter is asking what we have in Utah, which is called, you have to excuse me for a second. This is all really hard to do. Getting this stuff with paper up in there. This one is to the Judicial Contact Commission, which I did other videos on the addresses and where to write, but you can go back and look at this letter, slow it down, and put your own information in it. But this is asking for the removal of John Carl Lanchowski for falsely arresting Chase Allan with no warrant in his court, which is totally illegal. That's what a son of a bitch that John Carl Lanchowski is. So, I'm trying to keep all this in order, which is hard. Of significance to the stop of Chase Allan is the timeline of events. From the time Officer Butcher tapped on the window of Chase Allan's car, it took Officer Butcher only 16 seconds to call for backup through dispatch. This was the second, third time that he's done this. But you have the police chief say, oh, no, there was no prior dispatch calls. That's a lie. And that shows you everything else that he presented in his dog and pony show and in defense of his officers is total bullshit. But most importantly, note that Butcher already had 2 other officers on scene. Wasn't this enough officers? He didn't need backup. You can see him coming down the street as he's talking to Chase Allan in his car. And it only took 28 seconds to detain Chase Allan, and within 2 minutes and 45 seconds, there were 6 officers on scene. This doesn't happen in real life. I said this many times. You don't get 6 officers. Why was there 6 officers within 2 minutes and 45 seconds? Because this was all orchestrated. This was a planned murder of Chase Allan. They already made a decision. I am alleging that there was already a decision made to kill Chase Allan at the post office when they had the next opportunity, and that's why he ended up with 6 officers so quickly showing up. Additionally, without anyone saying anything to each officer, they all self-positioned themselves around Chase Allan's vehicle, ready to murder him and unload 2 magazines each into him. One telling thing that occurred at this stop was when Officer Butcher asked Chase Allan, was there anyone else in the vehicle? This was another Freudian slip by Jason Butcher. I know Jason Butcher had a guilty conscience, and the Lord hit the mainspring of his mind to expose Officer Butcher's real intent in making the stop. The stop was to shoot to death Chase Allan, and he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to murder anyone else nor have any witnesses. Again, this is why Officer Butcher asked Chase Allan, is there anyone else in the vehicle? And when Chase Allan gave Butcher his U.S. passport, why didn't he run Chase Allan's passport? Why didn't he run his name and date of birth? I believe Officer Butcher didn't run his passport because the whole intent of the Chase Allan traffic stop was to ensure Chase Allan was to be shot to death by the Farmington Police Department. So let's go to when Officer Butcher and Sergeant Taylor Jacobson demanded Chase Allan open his door and get out of the car. And Chase Allan complies and opens his door and his seatbelt. He even places his foot on the ground, which is seen in several still photos outside of his car. Remember, Butcher and Sergeant Jacobson ordered him out of the car, and he was complying. But then why did Sergeant Jacobson bum rush Chase Allan back into the car? Why? He didn't want Chase Allan to show his hands. He had no gun. This is why Sergeant Taylor Jacobson, the evil son of a bitch that he is, pushes Chase Allan back into the vehicle. After all, didn't Officer Butcher and Jacobson order Chase Allan out of the car? So why would they push him back in? Back into the car. The Farmington Police Department couldn't afford to show his hands empty of a gun. Remember, all these Farmington police that showed up for the sole purpose of shooting to death Chase Allan, and this is where I interject a conspiracy. I allege that all the officers that showed up at this traffic stop of Chase Allan had been ordered by Chief Eric Johnsen to murder Chase Allan. I further allege that several meetings between Chief Johnsen, Troy Rawlings, to the possible inclusion of John Charlinchowski, was to murder Chase Allan, and that they would know the fact that Chase Allan carried a gun with him. They knew he had a concealed carry permit, and this would open the gates to murdering Chase. This is why Troy Rawlings would use the justification that the police didn't have to wait for Chase Allan to pull out a gun and point it at them. And this justified the murder of Chase Allan, as so stated by the son of a bitch, Troy Rawlings. Let us not forget that there was an assassination shot to the back of the head of Chase Allan by Officer Kyle Carey, which was shown in the chief, which was never shown in Chief Johnsen's Dog and Pony Show. This to me was omitted by Chief Johnsen that day because it was an admission of guilt and proof at what length that all involved were willing to go to murder Chase Allan. Let's not forget, we proved that someone of the Farmington Police Department pulled out the gun of Chase Allan from between Chase Allan's driver's seat and the center console, because through pictures shows no gun was there when Chief Johnsen lied that a gun was found. We proved when we pulled out when they pulled out Chase Allan's body, no gun was where the chief says there was one. We proved in a video replay that Justin Butcher could not have seen a gun in Chase Allan's possession when he yelled, "Gun, gun, gun." We proved it. These are all facts that I'm telling you. They didn't want to show you the assassination shot to the back of the head because then it would show culpability. Who does that shit? They do. And it was a hit planned by the Troy Rawlings, I'm alleging, and Chief Eric Johnsen, and the police officers were all knew about it and practiced for it. We prove in a video that after the murder of Chase Allan, that the Farmington police were searching for a gun within Chase Allan's vehicle, proving Chase Allan never pulled out his gun during the whole episode at anyone, that the Farmington PD murdered Chase Allan. Note, Chase Allan had no criminal record, was a good citizen, and a peaceful citizen. Based upon the things that I've told you, and you go back and re-listen to this, and the fact, the record of Chase Allan complied with everything they said proves, and the points that I make in here about the assassination shot and them searching for a gun on the seats of Chase Allan's car and then planning a gun at the news conference to give you the impression that, oh, he pulled out a gun and pointed it at the officers is total bullshit. These sons of bitches, Troy Rawlings and Chief Eric Johnsen, need to be held criminally responsible for the murder of Chase Allan. This was a good kid. And they planned this murder together, and they used the fact they found out he had a concealed carry, and they marked him for death. Troy Rawlings and Eric Johnsen marked him for death to make a point to this family. This is how rotten these sons of bitches are, that they'll go to these lengths to cover up a real assassination and murder of one of our citizens. And let me say for the record one more time, I believe that these sons of bitches that I mentioned are responsible for what happened to me with my 3 heart attacks and having gallstones and kidney stones, because the doctors can't believe all this happened at once. Look it up. They say it's an instrument called RF. And it can be shot right through your walls at you. And I really, truly believe, and I'm alleging that these sons of bitches that I've mentioned tried to kill me by using RF. And go over every point that I showed you. Please take these letters. And here's the one with the judicial contact that I'd like you to reduplicate. And write that and demand that John Charlankowski's ass be disbarred and thrown out of Utah justice system, because there is no justice with this son of a bitch. They murdered this kid. I presented all the facts that prove it. And for Troy Rawlings, the rotten, no good, sordid, filthy, lying, disgraceful reprobate of a human being, and the son of a bitch that he is, has no business being district attorney of Davis County or to have a position in any judicial setting in any state, county, or country. He is a human piece of crap, and we've got to get rid of him. And I'm begging all of you who watch this, please send it to your friends. Leave me comments so these bastards can read how you dislike them. And you sorry sons of bitches that want to leave your sorry crap, go ahead, because then I'm going to identify you, who you are. Leave your crap. I'm not making stuff up. This is all going to be brought out in a court of law. It'll all be proven that Troy Rawlings used a limp dick excuse that they could shoot him because he had a gun in his car. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Amen.